share with us. This is where we are getting our input from. So as you can see, this file is for product type incident. So for product type incident, currently we want to extract all these work products from this work product list. So it is having 118 work products in it right now. So we need to get all this information. Main information is there in this descriptor tab. So this descriptor tag is having so many fields and labels along with the values. So we need to extract all these values and put that in JSON. That was the requirement. Some additional values such as these longitude and latitude were had to be displayed in that JSON. And I'll show you the output. So this is a lecture which I just said. I'm not using Postman. This is a Chrome. It's based on Chrome only. So product type could be incident. This is my localhost server. This is my localhost. So this is the URL from my web application web service. This is a RESTful web service built on Maven. So product type could be incident. Format equal to JSON equal to 2. And when I hit it, so just for the display purpose, just to make it easier to understand, I have add one more label. Product number 1. Product 1. Yeah, so product 1, and then all the fields which are extracted from this that descriptor tag are there. I'll just show you. So display name, then field alias is object ID, JS object ID. This is the first section, the header, which says what actual name which we are using in our JSON, and the names which we are extracted from that XML. So this gives us all the fields. Then the geometry ID. Then field array is there. Name, type, alias, and that's the requirement. This contains all the fields. And once done, then comes the features. So the features attributes all the tables, and so the object ID number 1 is for first product, and all the field labels along with the value extracted from that descriptor tag are there. So as you can see, this is the comparison type actual XML file. So XML, the first one was ID, and the second one was record source. It's very same order.
Yeah, and
extracting these values.
Yeah, let me just explain to Daphne that the requirement was to extract some of the standard fields in a work product, and then to take every single one of the label value combinations in the description field and turn them into a separate field themselves. So when it gets pushed to ArcGIS Online, every one of those goes back to being an individual field rather than pesky data.
Right, I know he changed all the description into attributes of the in each of the feature objects.
Yep.
Yeah.
What other thing did you? I know you just said let long, correct? That you also picked to translate into attribute, transform into attribute.
Yeah.
What other fields did you do?
Along with the fields which were there in descriptor tag, some additional fields from the header portion. The fields like
Yeah, it's
by all these fields are extracted.
All right.
So this is there in attribute. Then geometry part, the values there, longitude, latitude, and then there was similarly for work product 2 in the same way. This one is also having section. I'll show you some other. And I guess this one again I think this work product number 18. In the same way, 118 work products are there. Before this, they are all grouped into the attributes, the features, the geometry, etc. Into the same order as well. I guess this one is a bit different. It's having lesser number of fields because every work product is having different number of fields, and so it is dynamically extracting all them. Yes, I have written a piece of code which dynamically puts all the values from the text code XML and puts into this JSON. So 118 work products have come. Now I'll show you one more thing. For that, for example, if we change it to alert. So for alert, we are not having any work product. So zero work products are there in this work product list. So our code works like this only. If there is no word in that list, it will display nothing. Ideally it should be like this only. No? So if you write type hello, send a request, then the output comes JSON text is not supporting as the word interesting. When this is just for demonstration purpose, there is no word to display for this product type. So it's like this only. Since it contains 0 word product, there is no word product in the list. So nothing like this happens. So it is dynamically pulling based on this value. So for this.
So just now you had, when there's no work product, the JSON return an error?
No, that was just for the demonstration purpose. I put one message there. Just one message to display that there is no work product to display for this product type. Otherwise, nothing will be displayed, only blank JSON will be there. Because there is no work product. That's fine.
Is that a requirement, Jim? To display just a text?
Actually, yeah,
I just added this from my own end for demonstrating this.
Right.
Nothing is there in this. Nothing is there in this. I'll remove it after.
Yeah.
Blank brackets from here.
So usually for JSON, we'll just return no object, right? If there's nothing.
Do you want me to change the code?
I'm just saying, if there's no work product, you want to return and JSON with no object, right? Right. So instead of returning some sort of error, I don't think the other guys know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I think I agree with Daphne, because the program will not be reading this English HTML. It'll be looking for a return. Yeah. So all it should get back is a empty JSON.
Yeah, actually in our code it is returning an empty JSON only. But just for this our code for demonstration purpose,
yeah.
To make it demonstration easier, understandable, I put one text here. Just for demonstration purpose, it's not there in actual code.
Okay.
So once this call is over, I'll remove this and send you the formatted code.
Okay, good.
That code will only return a blank JSON with 2 brackets here. So only 2 brackets, 2 variables will be there displaying blank JSON. So this message won't be there in their actual code.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Okay. Actually, can you have time to tell me a little bit about your architecture of your application, your web application?
You want to see the code?
Yeah. When is your web server? Is it a Tomcat or?
Yeah, Tomcat.
And I see you are listening to port 9999. What did you?
Yeah, that's the port number.
Right. So you use like a configuration file to, I assume, to put the different URL, right? To where to listen to, or where to get the instance from.
Yeah, actually, it will work like this. I'm using Jersey only, Maven project, and Jersey API I'm using. So when you hit this URL, internally it will redirect it to that our Xcode estimate. This URL will hit internally, and it will change the. It will first check, because in our web service we are passing format equal to JSON because we want JSON output. Internally it will convert it into format equal to XML, and it will select this URL. Then the output of this URL is complete XML. Will be stored in a string, and that string will be passed. I'm using JSON DOM, the XML DOM model, DOM parser for that. So I gave 3 solutions for that. The first two didn't work out for me because those 2 solutions were not feasible. I had to create a separate Java object, whole Java structure for that. But since our project required dynamic extracting from this XML, so I used XML DOM parsing. The XML DOM parsing extracted all the information on the basis of tag names. So first I found out this descriptor tag using tag search by name, and then after finding the content of this descriptive tag, I split it on the basis of on the different breaks, the different tags which are there between these values. So once I got all those values, then I use JSON DOM parser again. This time I'm creating a whole dynamic JSON and dynamically using for loops and other loops to input those values, and then finally a JSON array and JSON object. So dynamic DOM parsing has been used to create the JSON output. And once the JSON output is used, I use Jersey and Jackson to send the JSON output back to the screen. And if it is run through my server, then it will come out as a JSON file. So in fact, I have done it. So internally, it will redirect to XML, this URL, this one. And once it gets the output, then it converts it to JSON and it displays the JSON output. In that way, it is working. There is a complete architecture of my application.
Okay. Can I see your, are you using Eclipse?
Eclipse, you want to see my code?
Yeah, can I see it real quick? I want to, yeah.
Okay, I'll show you. So this is the main my.java.
Okay.
First stop this where you come up. So what we are doing here is So first we get the this query parameter, because the query string which we are passing in our web service. So we get the parameters product type and format. So that value, see, there's a URL I'm creating internally. There's the Xcode estimate URL. Product type equal. Dynamically we are setting this product type as and which we are receiving from the backend, and then format equal to XML. So we are internally setting the format equal to XML. So this URL has been hit internally. The output of this URL using this buffer data and everything, we are storing this URL into this URL content string. And then I'm using hash map and all those collection objects to create that to use the DOM parser. Sorry. So
okay. Yeah. So the URL is hard coded, correct?
Sorry.
The URL is hard coded currently.
Yeah. I mean, URL is hard coded, but the value, we just hard coding this format equal to XML because we need to hit that XML output. Just everything has been added. So we first collect that product type. For example, in case of alert will be passed to this value. In case of incident will be passed, and whatever product type will be there will dynamically passed to this URL. But the format will be format equal to XML. The hard coded part is this one. So in that way,
yeah, I think
theoretically, your URL can be also doesn't have to be hard coded either, right? You can do the same thing.
Yeah, because what Daphne's getting to is that the host2.exchange core, that can change also based on where we put this. So that would be
In Postman we can pass that post value. Yeah, we can post that also.
Yeah.
But from the very beginning, I've been doing it like this. Why can't you do it in this fashion only?
Yeah. Understand. Yep.
So after this, once we get the XML output in this URL content string, so this string contains all that XML output that was there. After that, I'm using this. This is the work product list. First, I'm using this node build. I'm using document builder. This document builder is used for this factory new document builder. This document builder is used for XML DOM parsing. So every XML, it's always document object model, right? Document object model. So we always need to extract on the basis of different element names. So first I'm using doc. See this doc build parses. So doc.getElement by tag name. So my first tag name is work product. So because there is a list of work product only. There is a list of work product only. So I'm running a loop on this work product list .getLength. But this in our case comes out to be 118. So a loop of 118 times will be running. And every time we'll be having a new key because I'm setting a map of list and integer. This will be having a key, and correspond to that a list will be there. So in that way I'm extracting different elements. For example, first I extracted event, then this part. Inside event descriptor is there. So when I get into descriptor, I split the string. I'll show you there also. See, what I have done is, this has a fixed structure. All the descriptor tags, the content of the descriptor tag is fixed. So first I need to break this pair, label and value pair. So between every label and value pair, this part is there. You can see that now. So I split this string into this based on this. So once I split that string, inside every string, now I'll be having this part. This part will be there inside every string. For the location is this, first location is this, second location in that way. Whatever number of values are there, so that many parts will be. So now I'll further split it on the basis of this. So once I split on the basis of this, I'll be storing it to array. So this array will be having the label, the value label, the first location, and on the second location we'll be having the value corresponding to that label. So this is what I'm doing here. So once I split it on the basis of tr, close and open tags, then I again run a for loop inside the descriptor element, and then I split it on the basis of this colon. Colon is what's there. So once I split on the basis of colon, I again split. So in that way, during this splitting only, I'm dynamically getting the label and values. So I hope you understood my point, right? So in that way, first I store that descriptor string, descriptor content element into a particular variable, a string array, by splitting. So this array is having all those labels and value pairs. And again, by splitting it again and again, so I finally store that attribute map. So this map contains key on the left hand side, and right hand side contains value pair list. So this is again a list, and this list is having value along with pairs. Label value. So that's why I've named it label value pair list. So it's easier to understand. So in that way, so this attribute map is having all those. For first one, it is having the first value label pair. For second one, second value label pair. In that way, it is. So this attribute map is having all those descriptors for the first work product. Because this will be do for all of the work product list. So for every work product, all the elements are stored in this attribute map. So this is the work which we have done now. And then for the rest of the elements, we have to separately find those elements, because we have to extract different elements from different web. Only part was the main content part was a descriptor only. In descriptor, on the basis of loop, I have stored these values, and rest of the elements are directly assigned values. There is 5-6 elements. I had to assign them separately for the version and time and stuff. Once that is done, so now all the values in and work product properties part created by. So everything has been extracted in this way. Now that we have all the values stored in our JSON writing starts here. Okay. So I again run a loop on work product list. Then I again use that JSON. In this time I'm using linked hash map. Again, I had an option of creating this JSON object also, but the problem with JSON object is that it doesn't support proper ordering. So we need proper order. For example, object ID should be the first element to display, then field in that way it should be. This order was not followed when we were using that JSON object map. So that's why I've used linked hash map, and linked hash map directly assigned. So temp object is the name of linked hash map, temp object dot put display field name, file name, in that way, and then it's dynamically putting all this. Everything is done using collections and dynamically splitting. So see, for the first element, for the first work product, corresponding to every work product, there is an attribute map. In that attribute map, all the descriptive fields are there, and using that loop, I'm assigning these values, name, type, alias, again and again, name, type, alias, name, type, alias. I'm getting those values dynamically. And same thing is happening while setting that attribute feature tag. So name, attribute map dot size, whatever size our attribute is, that's why for different work product, different attribute size will be there. So it will be dynamically pulling those values and then assigning these values to these objects. So see attribute value object also. On the left hand side, the label name, right hand side the label value, object value. So in that way, once this is done, these values are set. So I'm converting this final into JSON string because that is a map. We have to convert that map into JSON string because eventually we'll be returning a JSON string only. And see, if work dot is equal to 0, this is just for the display purpose right now for the demonstration. If work dot length is 0, no work dot element is there. JSON string will return this as output. Otherwise, JSON string will return the stored output, whatever we have converted. And once this is done, this is done using JSON. Jackson is again a Java feature. So Jackson, Jersey, and using Jersey on the very top, we are returning media type dot package in JSON. So this will make sure that the output is returned in a JSON. So this is what Jersey helps us with. So there's the big Jersey. So all these Jersey, JSON object, XML parsing, DOM parsing, and Jackson, all these things are made implemented this. So there's the whole structure. So that's what I've done.
Yeah. Very nice. At least I can follow it, so that makes some sense out of it.
So your Nathan, your POM file, I assume you have a POM file and for this, right? And you pretty much just compile to a WAR, I assume, right? You compile it and build a WAR file and drop it in the Tomcat somehow?
Yeah, I mean, right now I haven't created any WAR file because this is my local server, so I don't need to deploy any file. But in your case, I guess I'll just send you the source code and the WAR file. You can directly deploy that WAR file to your server, and then you can use this application and use this web service. So this is my POM file, and I just needed some extra dependencies, so I used the dependencies. And for example, this Jersey Media Moxie was required for that. So all these Google Codes, JSON symbol, and Jackson, either Google Jackson and all. So all these dependencies are included in this form. So this much is done. This much technical code. The complete implementation. I made sure that all the functionalities, all the requirements were satisfied. So that we have done it.
Do you have any documentation or papers or some sort of write-up for this?
Yeah, we'll be sending on documentation because that's a part of deliverable.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so I've mentioned everything in common sense, that which margins there and what's not and so that way it's easier to understand also. Yeah, I followed the coding standards. Anything you want to ask about this? I hope you understand the rest of the check. Was I able to explain it properly?
Yes, I thought that was a good explanation. Daphne, any follow-up questions?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay. No, I think this has been, that was very informative for me, even though I don't understand the coding part. I was able to follow the logic that you went through, so that was very nicely done. And it looks like you've got some good internal documentation to keep us going. And I don't know whether this is immediately deployable, or Jim, whether we make the deployment part a project for the next semester. I guess Daphne will be able to do an assessment of that, but I think this was, given the number of false starts we had and the limited amount of time you had, I think this was a very, very good job.
Yeah, I did a good job.
Yeah. All right.